Rob Dalto, welcome to Run Chats with Ron Runs NYC. How you doing, my brother?
We're here, Ron.
We are here, live, Ritz-Carlton, a few blocks away from the iconic Brandenburg Gate, start and finish of Berlin. Energy is high, bro. How are the vibes, man? You feeling it?
The vibes are electric. This place is special, honestly. Every time I come back to Berlin for personal reasons and just the race itself, it's pretty darn cool. And we're right in the thick of it. Yeah. Right here.
Yeah, we are. We were just over in Tiergarten Park with Dave from Abbott doing a little fun trivia game. So we're like totally in the flow. And my boy Rob here gets off the plane, like coming from New York City. And I'm like walking out of the expo with two of my good friends, that are running the race as well. And of course, Rob is rolling in his suitcase off the plane and crashes into me. So the first person he sees is me. So it's got to be some good luck, right?
Wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah. Yeah, so what was the energy like at the expo, the vibes? I mean, you've been partnering and doing some really cool stuff with Abbott lately. What was it like to, get over there, see their team, and just meet people and feel the energy at the expo?
Expo was fun, smooth, honestly, getting through there. They've got a lot of good stuff going on over there. This is cheesy, but I love how they do the bracelets here, where they just kind of melt it onto you. I don't know. It's something unique that they do here. But yeah, energy was good. Seeing the Abbott folks was awesome. I mean, the Abbott races have changed my life. So just having any relationship there is just really, really special. So spent a lot of time catching up with folks and starting to see some familiar faces after having done a lap of all 6 majors and on through lap 2 and the Slam this year. So it's really cool now to kind of be in the motion of seeing familiar faces again and again.
Yeah. And they're getting to know you now. And that's the beauty of it. When you put your foot in the water and you run a major and you run 2 and then all of a sudden 3, and then you start to think about, well, I have 3 more to go to earn my 6-star medal. And all of a sudden that board with all those names and the statistical numbers start to take on some significance, and you start to dream about like, hey, I can get this done. So when did that kind of come into picture for you, like the whole 6-star series, before we talk about our own Abbott Slam journey this year and what that means to us? But when did like the whole Abbott racing presence and the 6-star journey, when did that come into focus for you?
Well, I never had any interest in running a marathon until a cool November day in 2011, when I was wandering outside my dad's apartment and stumbled upon the New York City Marathon, mile 24 there, coming down the far Upper East Side by Harlem, and felt that energy and was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should run a marathon. And so signed up for my first one, signed up for New York. And I didn't even know what the 6-star journey was. I didn't even know what that meant back then. And then in 2017, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. My sister and I had done New York City together. We'd also just done Chicago, and running marathons had become a way for our family to really bond together. My dad loved watching us race. And when he was diagnosed, we thought, okay, hey, why don't we, by then we knew about the Abbott 6 stars. And we said, why don't we go on this journey together? We'll take dad along as long as he can, and we'll use that as an opportunity to bond and then to honor him. And so that started our journey in earnest.
Beautiful. But it was very much a family thing versus an individual thing.
Oh, completely. It wasn't on my radar. That precipitated us wanting to go on that journey together.
Yeah. Interesting. That may be part of why you have this deep connection with doing community things and are doing a lot of things, which we'll get to later as we have this conversation. But so many runners that are on this journey or on their path are trying to figure it out and figuring out one day at a time, one run at a time, or one race at a time. It is more individualistic. They have very specific goals. And for others, it's literally, can I actually finish a marathon? Is that possible? Forget about 6 or traveling and all the other stuff. And in the beginning, we have no idea what we're doing. Literally, I have no idea. Let's figure it out. And doing it with your dad while he was still with you, because he's now gone, right? And you talk about running to honor him, and you and your sister. How many of those races was he able to be a part of with you and your sister, while he was still present with you?
So by the time he saw a couple smaller races, but not another major. He passed away in 2019. He actually had and this is why this race holds so much significance for me. He had a ticket booked to Berlin in 2019. It was very much his physical, mental finish line, when he was battling. So to not make it made that trip really special for the family, as like a way to honor him. It was kind of, when you're in those situations, you're always holding out hope, right? You're always fighting for something. And so that was his line, but he didn't make it. But nevertheless, it left an opportunity for us to all come together and just have an amazing experience.
That's beautiful. And I saw your kit. I don't know if it was a story post or a reel or whatever you did, where you're showing your kid and what you're going to run in, and so you have your dad's name, on your singlet, which is pretty special. Because I was like, wait a minute, that's not Rob's name. I'm like, I didn't know at first because I didn't hear the audio playing with it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So you had somebody design that for you, and put the whole kit together.
No, I completely jerry rig it. That's cut out of duct tape. I literally take an X-Acto knife to duct tape, but I started running with his name on my chest when he was diagnosed and when he was sick. And for me, running, and particularly in races, is actually a time where I can kind of pause and spend time with him. And so in the hoopla of day-to-day life, sometimes I find it hard to get those moments of calm and those moments of reflection, but typically somewhere within the 26.2, I get them. And it's a great opportunity for me to connect with him, chat with him, and just honor him. And honestly, running a race and hearing his name yelled just keeps him alive in my heart. And I love hearing his name yelled out. It's
beautiful. Presence and trying to stay in the moment and staying grounded. It's just so hard for all of us. I mean, we're hooked up to tech, and it's like in our veins, and it's in your business life and in my business life. So literally, we're in front of screens. We're connected to them all the time. It's Twitter, it's Instagram and TikTok and 100 other places coming at us at high speed, man. And it's crazy for somebody my age to be into that stuff too and really enjoy it. But I feel exactly what you're saying. I didn't lose my dad recently. He's gone many years, but I did lose my dog just, 2 days before Boston. And when I couldn't run, when I was injured, and I know you had your own battles too to get back and get healthy here today. We both did, to try to heal up and get stronger. Like on those runs, those are those moments where you can actually have a conversation. And people might think it's one way. It's not a one-way conversation. Anybody who's had loss and someone they really love and respect and care for, it's a real conversation, man. Like sometimes I actually talk out loud. I don't know if you do, but I literally will talk out loud sometimes to people that have come and gone, or my dog or something. Do you, or is it more just like between your ears, like that kind of a thing?
No, it can be both. A lot of times what I just want to do is feel that sensation of their life and reflect on it, and just feel that presence more than anything. 'Cause if you don't reflect on it, if you don't bring it back, you lose it. So
you do. And it's important that you don't ever want to lose that connection. So I totally feel why having his name called out is just super extra special. And being back to the place where he couldn't complete that journey with you, yeah, more significance. And shifting to this year now, so, Rob's already earned a 6-star. Your sister did as well? Did she earn one too?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I just didn't know for sure about that. I don't want to get it wrong, but I thought so. I thought you kind of were doing that together,
We
more
did.
or less.
Yeah, so that was our journey together. We participated in every race together with the exception of Boston. She ran Boston in 2021. When we began the journey, I was adamant that I wanted to qualify. I wanted that to be part of my journey. At the time, I'd already run 10 marathons, but my best was only 3:35. And so I really put my head down. And this is probably part of my grieving process as well, if I'm honest, was to just kind of tuck into something, and took 35 additional minutes off and, qualified. When the day I was chasing sub 3, I ran 2:59:38, chasing it down to the final straightaway, and was accepted for the 2022 race. So that meant a lot. And so that was the only race we didn't do alone. We coincidentally finished our first and last of the 6 hand in hand. 2015, we ran the New York City Marathon together. That was our first. And she was going through some stuff, and I ran the whole race with her, and we finished, hands together up in the air. And then when we got to London, we did the exact same thing, ran the whole race together, finished hand in hand, and it was really special.
Awesome. Siblings finishing together, 6-star medals, all of it. And the journey, the path, through, cutting 30 minutes is crazy. I mean, that's a huge chunk. And maybe more than 30 minutes at this point. And, you have more in the tank. I mean, you're doing some serious work, and we both know Jonah with the lab, and you're into the lab, man. It reminds me of Eminem, the soundtrack, Back to the Lab again, man, because that's what it is, man. It's if you really want to excel and you really want to find your best, if you will, at any age. It doesn't matter. You maybe not going to hit PRs anymore for me at my age and whatnot, but you can still hit your maximum performance, like what you're truly capable of. And hey, man, that's your handle on Instagram, Pursuit of Performance. Like, perfect topic. Like, that's what it's all about, right? Trying to find out how can I achieve my best through nutrition, things that you're personally doing. I see you out there measuring, doing salt tests with people, sweat tests, really using the tech, working with Jonah, analytics, VO2 max stuff, lactate 1, 2 levels. Like, where did that kind of science and analytical part of running, when did that grab a hold of you? And like, how has it helped your running personally?
I've always been interested in how to find an advantage. I was actually never a particularly great athlete. I was always middle range, but found ways to kind of push my ceiling up a little bit by being more efficient, more effective in whatever I did. In school, they actually used to call me Dr. Rob because of my methodical and really dialed tendencies. And so it's always just been part of my DNA to figure out how can I tinker to get the most out of what I have. And it's crazy. I've been on a 20-year running journey, but even now I'm just unlocking new things. And a lot of it's the information that's available to us and accessibility. So like you were just talking about Jonah, like that has completely and will forever change how I train. Incredible what you can do with that, with the data from the technology that's available when you do it with a professional who can, teach how to interpret that data and put it into good action. So that's incredible. And then the nutrition side, I just find fascinating. There's so much science out there now, and there's a lot of ways that you can educate yourself to figure out what's right for you and how to get the most out of your body. I mean, as you know, with with this as well, and then just how to live a better, healthier lifestyle now is the name of the game for me too. Sleep and cutting back on things that could take away from training. I've really cut back on alcohol and things like that because I just find I could get so much more, and I really enjoy just getting the most out of myself on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, great, man. I mean, look, we're going to look for minutes, and then at some point it might become seconds, and sometimes it could be huge chunks of time, when we're first getting started and we're first developing our aerobic capacity and getting stronger and building a stronger body that can handle mileage. And not everybody's built for high mileage. Some people can crush marathons running 40 to 50 miles a week. They don't need any more mileage. They can absolutely crush marathons running that amount. Others need to be in the 70, 80, 90. And that's just why I love talking about running. That's why I have a podcast, because you have to find out what's going to work best for Rob. You got to find out what's going to work best for Ron and for you, anybody who's listening to the show. We all have a level where we're going to achieve more. We're going to optimize our performance, and doing too much could land us in the injury aisle, in the shopping cart aisle, the MRI aisle, which we want to avoid at all costs. And other times when we nail it and we get it right, we crush.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about this year, something near and dear to both of our hearts. We're on the pursuit of an Abbott Slam. Talk to our audience about what an Abbott Slam is.
So an Abbott Slam is completing all 6 Abbott World Marathon Majors in one calendar year.
Awesome.
And as you know, you've got 6 of them. You got the spring, and it's in 2 seasons. You got the spring season, Tokyo, Boston, London, and then you come back for the fall season. You kick it off here in Berlin. Then we go to Chicago in 2 weeks, and New York City, our home city, 4 weeks after that.
Where we get to finish it up together as a group, which I think somewhere between 10 to 20. Every time it happens, people think there's way more people doing it, but somewhere along the way, some people get injured, they can't finish. So they may have started the journey to finish all 6 in the year, but something goes wrong, a life event happens. And the total number for people listening, there's only 88 or 84, because I was looking at it through the Abbott stats before we did our little trivia game with Dave. It's 88 or 84 of us who've actually completed all 6 in 1 year. And there's actually only 6 that have done 2 Abbott Slams or more. I think someone has actually done 3 or 4. But Dave's still working on some of the details with that from Stu. But, so you're on your quest to finish your first Abbott Slam, and, like I said, 84 to 88. So it's less than 100 people. And so even our group this year added in will still probably be less than 100 people, man. That's got to feel pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Hey, look, you've lived it. You're a trailblazer on this stuff. And like you said, one of, you could count them on your hands how many people are going to do it twice like you have. So, I mean, no one better to speak to it than you. But I mean, I will say now, being on that journey, it's unlike what I could have imagined or expected. First, because the Abbott World Marathon Majors are just the best races on the planet, top to bottom. Everything about them, there's a reason why they're the majors. They hold themselves to a standard unlike anything else, and that comes with a feeling and an environment unlike any other race. And what inspired me so much this year, just getting things kicked off in Tokyo, was when you lean into the community in around these races, you will get exposed to the most extraordinary people you'll ever meet. And it's not even far beyond what we're doing between the start and finish line on Sunday. Just the things that they do in their lives. When you find folks who push themselves to do events like we're doing, there's a good chance they're doing something pretty extraordinary in other aspects of their life, or doing it in an extraordinary way. And seeing that has just given me so much juice this year.
Yeah. And we're blessed to know a lot of those people, like Thomas Eller, the first deaf-born runner to complete a 6-star journey. My friend George, I don't know his last name, from Germany, donated not a kidney, trying to think which organ it was. I don't remember, but he was an organ donor, and did it fairly close to going to Tokyo to finish his 6-star journey. I mean, people are doing extraordinary things, as you say, in terms of in the community, and then enormous amounts of fundraising and really special and unique things. So your awareness around some of that, just me personally knowing you and seeing what you're doing back home in our New York City community, like, did that stuff kind of inspire you to start doing a lot more stuff that you're doing? Because I'm really impressed with your outreach and how you're connecting with many different runners that maybe aren't even part of any running group at all whatsoever, either doing sweat tests, nutrition help, doing runs with them, coaching them up, if you will. Like, what kind of led you, into that path, and how has it been going for you?
Yeah, there's probably two tiers to it. First, when we got to London, that was just like a really meaningful experience for me and my sister, and the culmination of this big journey in honor of our dad. And I wanted to talk about it, and so I did. And I put that out to the world and the internet, and I didn't have much of a following, but just putting that out there, I was just blown away by what came back to me, by being vulnerable, just speaking what was on my mind and my heart. And people reached out to me with these crazy, just gut-wrenching stories, not because they wanted to like unload anything on me, but just because like they clearly needed or wanted to share. And I've been in that place where, and it could be, many of them were cancer journeys. They were so similar to mine. They lost a parent to cancer. But this is true, can be true for so many other things where, you might experience something and you don't know how to talk about it with others who might not be able to relate to that experience. And so first off, I just immediately empathized with all that energy that came back to me. And I wanted to find a way to help those people tell their story, because I knew they wanted to, and I knew they needed to heal. And then it made me zoom out a little bit and recognize, like, hey, that's not just about, this specific type of journey that I'm on with these individuals that I'm speaking with. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's on a journey. Everyone's dealing with something. Everyone has something to share with the world. And, running being such a big part of my life creates a really open channel to be able to do that. And so that's kind of led me on this journey where I can kind of combine giving people a mouthpiece to the world, and amplify any message they want to give out there, and also provide a little bit of help along the way for newer runners along the lines of things I'm passionate about, whether it be how to hydrate, how to fuel yourself. There's so many people that have been embarking on these new journeys, running their first marathon or second marathon, or it could be a 5K. It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. What matters is that they're pushing themselves to do something different, and that they see and want an opportunity to improve.
Yeah. And I think what I love is you're opening doors for people who maybe aren't feeling as welcome, or they're new to the scene, new to the sport, don't understand a lot of these things, what's in front of them, or what could they take on? What are they capable of? So you're bringing them in. And that's what it takes. You just need to bring people in and make them a little bit more welcome. And if they feel like, okay, I'm all right here, I'm comfortable, I'm safe, let me come and run with this guy, Rob. Again, he's fun. Let me meet Jonah and his friends and let him test me. Let me find out more about myself. And, I know the different groups, you run with the guys up by Yankee Stadium. I've seen a bunch of those clips that you've done, which are super fun. But also recently, you've gotten involved with Abbott, doing some work with Abbott. And we just talked about your post walking back to my hotel room to record here. And I think it was one of the coolest stories. And literally, I just shared it in my story. So talk a little about this little venture you had going with Abbott and this particular runner and what that came to be.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, Abbott's changed my life. Like, first and foremost, so just this is like pinch me type stuff. I can't believe, a year ago I was here in Berlin running, and to now be sitting here like we are is honestly mind blowing to me, and I'm super grateful for it. Biggest Abbott fanboy in the world. I just can't. I literally have the 6 stars now tattooed on my leg. So like the biggest fanboy. So this is all just like a complete dream. But yeah, we started speaking after the spring marathons, and I think the vein of kind of me sharing my story and just the lens of everyone's got a story to share resonated, and we started talking about like, hey, is there something we can do that would just create an awesome opportunity? And so we went out on a search to find a great candidate to give entry to the New York City Marathon to, and so yeah, that's what we did. And so Lily is going to be running the New York City Marathon. She's awesome, super cool person, living in Manhattan, and she's going to take on her first marathon and conquer the 5 boroughs.
Life-changing stuff, man. Kudos to Abbott, and great job by them seeing that you'd be a terrific person to partner with, collaborate with, and do work within the community, because that's what they do in their business life every single day. And being the lead sponsor for these races and the majors that we're part of, I mean, as you said, there are no other races that are run to this level with logistics and support and crowds and just the courses that we get to run, the blessing of the opportunity and, the expansion that awaits, whether it be in Sydney or South Africa or Chengdu or wherever it ends up being, it's going to continue to grow. But giving somebody an opportunity this late in the game to fulfill a dream, to run New York, which you mentioned was her dream, is just completely amazing and awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool. And honestly, it's like, it's easy to talk about like giving somebody else an opportunity and like doing things. This is so fulfilling. Like, I bet you I get more satisfaction out of this than anything. Like, it is absolutely overflowing my cup. I've never been so fulfilled in my life than the work that I've been doing with Abbott, and then just getting engaged in the running community, whether in any channel that we've discussed, has just been super meaningful, super valuable, and I honestly couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Anytime I close our longer form podcast, and this is a quicker chat for Rob and I, just because we have so much going on and wanted to capture the energy here today, but I close our longer form podcast all the time on community service with one reason and one reason only. If every listener out there hears what Rob is doing, or maybe wants to do, hasn't done yet, but just something that's really exciting him, and he shares that experience with me, and then vis-a-vis our audience, like, it gets the juices flowing, it gets people thinking like, hey, wait a minute, I used to do this back in college, or I volunteered at a soup kitchen, or I used to go read to kids and, English as a second language, whatever it might be. There's always something that we could be doing on the volunteer side. And as you said, the moment we give back, the moment we give of ourself or our time and or our experience to some person or a group, we are like glowing. We're floating. It's almost an out-of-body experience, and we feel better instantly. And then what do we want to do? We want to tell everyone we know about what that experience was like, and then that energy continues to go around and gets paid forward. So kudos, brother. Let's keep doing more of it. You're doing a great job. That's why I wanted to have you on. Before we roll out, do you have any other big goals, whether it's personal or even connection, community, anything else big? Because it's exciting. You got a chance to finish off this Abbott Slam, but anything else big that's out there on the horizon for you?
I don't know what next year will bring. This year's been a dream come true, and we're still in the thick of it. We've got 6 amazing weeks coming up. So I'm just looking forward to going through them, staying present. I mean, there's definitely going to be more marathons in the future. We're lining up some of the spring races already, no doubt about it. But I don't know what next year will look like in its entirety. Probably get through at least the spring majors, but would also like to see if there's some other fun things out there as well. And on the personal side, just being more present in the running community has been so fulfilling. I'm absolutely going to continue doing that. We're building this awesome run club up in the Bronx with Shaq with the Bronx Burners. It's super passionate. I love Wednesday nights are my favorite night of the week. Always love doing that. And I'm just gonna kind of keep riding this. And I'm in a very fortunate position where I can do what my heart pulls me towards. And I'm just going to keep doing that.
Keep following that journey, brother, and follow your heart, man. Always. That's the direction to take in life, man. Whatever gets the juices flowing, whatever gets you out of bed or even keeps you up at night. Those are the things, man. Follow the dream, keep it rolling. And let's stay in touch, man. We'll get you on for an IG live spot. We'll do something live at the track with the crew up there. Or maybe we'll have your guest on who has the New York City Marathon, and we'll have a chat with her, man, and just talk to her about, no, the three-way chat, just because you found each other and you presented the offer, and just talk about it, like how's training going? What's it feeling like? There's got to be nerves. There's got to be energy. Let's get her on, man. Let's have a chat.
That would be great. We've got some stories already to share, so that would be great.
All right, let's do it. Rob, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, our friendship, chasing the Abbott Slam journey, being part of this awesome community, and for coming on with me today and spending some time. We're wishing you big luck in Berlin. Have a great race. I know you're going to enjoy it. I know you're going to be flying video and high-fiving people, sharing the big energy. In Chicago, you'll let it rip and go for a fast time. And then New York, we're going to close this shit out big time, bro. And we're going to party and we're going to celebrate like it's 1999, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, we are. Thank you, Ron. I can't thank you enough, man. It means the world.
Appreciate you, bro. We tell everybody at the end of every episode, keep lacing them up, keep getting out the door, and always remember to stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.